Most people think you need to drop a small fortune on a capture card just to get a decent stream going. But this little aluminum brick from UGREEN is here to prove that theory wrong. It is surprisingly compact, and honestly, the build quality is a nice surprise. It has this solid, cool-to-the-touch metal casing that feels like it could survive being tossed into a backpack 100 times without breaking a sweat. That is a big deal if you are someone who moves between setups or travels to record gameplay. What makes this thing interesting is how it handles resolution. It takes in a 4K signal, which is great for keeping your source footage looking sharp, and then it outputs at 2K. That is a smart middle ground. You get that extra bit of clarity over standard 1080p without putting the massive strain on your computer that a full 4K stream would. If you're just doing standard 1080p at 60 frames per second, it handles that perfectly fine too. It is essentially a plug-and-play experience. There is no messing around with drivers or complicated software installs. You just plug it into your USB-C or USB-A port, hook up your console, and OBS picks it up immediately. The latency is impressively low. During a session, the delay is barely noticeable, which is exactly what you want when you are trying to keep your commentary synced up with the action on screen. It works with just about everything: the Switch, the PS5, even the Meta Quest 3. Just a heads up though, if you are trying to capture from a PlayStation, you have to remember to dive into the settings and turn off HDCP. Otherwise, you are just going to get a black screen. It is a minor annoyance, but it is standard for these kinds of devices. One thing to keep in mind is that this is strictly a one-way street. It is HDMI in and USB out. You cannot use it to send a signal back to a monitor, so if you are planning on playing directly through your capture software, you might notice a tiny bit of lag depending on your PC's power. It is always better to use a pass-through setup if you can. Also, if you are an iPad user, make sure your tablet is running the latest software, or it just won't play nice with the connection. It is not the most feature-packed card on the market, and it lacks some of the bells and whistles you might find on those high-end, expensive capture boxes. But for the price, it is hard to argue with the performance. It is reliable, it stays cool even after a few hours of recording, and it does exactly what it says on the box without any unnecessary drama. If you're just starting out with streaming, or you need a portable way to grab footage on the go, this is a solid, no-nonsense piece of gear that gets the job done.
Check out the video description for updated price. And thank you for watching this video.